The grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. Y'all remember when Christ said, the world hates him? I remember when he told y'all that. Now I got a question. How do you feel about him? Now I'm sure you as the little flock would say that you love him. Well, then that's quite opposite of how the world feels about him, right? So what does that say about you? Obviously, that you're somehow separate from the mentality of the world when it comes to Yahusha. Because he made it clear that they hate him. Now, he also said that there are many who will come in his name, who will say that they did things in his name, but he will respond to them, "Depart from me, you workers of iniquity, for I never knew you." So we see there's a group that just flat out hates him. There's another group that says they love him, but are hating him. And then there's another group who truly love him. You see that? So there are some who just flat out hate him, make it clear that they hate him. They don't try to hide the fact that they hate him, nor are they fake about it. And then there are some imposters who are fake, who are hiding it, the fact that they hate him, but they give him lip service, say that they honor him. Like he says, they honor him with their lips, but their hearts are far from him. So they say one thing, but they do another. Then you got one last final group that actually loves him and does the things that it requires of us. And when you read the scripture, that's what you'll find, that there's a remnant on the earth that fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. There are a few who fear him and keep his commandments. That's how you know who really love him. Because if you say you love him and you don't keep his commandments, then you're a liar. It's not about what you say. It's about what you do. Because the scripture says, let us not love in word and in tongue, but let us love in deed and in truth. So it's very clear that in this world that you live in, you either have people, just like Yahusha, you either have people who hate you out, outlandishly or outwardly and overtly. They dislike you, they hate you, they war against you, they fight against you. And then you have others who are covert. It's hidden. They say they love you, but they actually are hating you. And then you got another group who actually show you by their actions that they love you. You see that? And so when you're coming up in this world, if you believe that it's anything other than that, then you're in error. If you believe that there are any other people other than that, then you're in error. You see, because there's the truth, and then there's everything else, which is a lie. So everything else is not a bunch of different stuff. It's just a bunch of the same stuff. Just one thing, which is a lie, if it's outside of the truth. You see? Doesn't matter how it appears or what it says it is. If it's not the truth, then it's just a lie. And so it would be wise for you to know and say, wait a minute. He said the world hates him. And then he says there are some who say they love him but are hating him. Which one am I? And then determining by which one of those people that you are will determine how you're treated. You see that? Then you'll know and understand why you're treated the way you are. And once you know why you're treated the way you are, then you're no longer destroyed by the treatment. Because people are only destroyed for a lack of knowing. That's why when you know the truth, you're free. There's nothing that you have to succumb to. It's for you to overcome. You see that? Sometimes people in this world, they'll find out a truth of something, and then they find out that they have to succumb to that. No, some things are made to be overcome, and one of those things that's made to be overcome is the world. Because that's what Yahushua told you. Fear not, for I have overcome the world. Be of good cheer. See, that's what I'm saying. That those words when he says be of good cheer, he's telling you that because of you're succumbing to being hated. You see? Because being hated doesn't feel good. And because it doesn't feel good, you start to feel bad because you're hated. You start to feel bad because you're rejected. You start to feel bad because your name is cast out as evil. But why would you feel bad about those things if your master already told you that they would happen and they would be the signs to let you know who you're rocking with? If you want to be on Christ's team, then you have to bear the marks, like Paul said. And by bear the marks, it means suffer. Because if you want to reign with Christ, you must do what first? Now, if you don't know that you're going to suffer, then how will you respond when the suffering comes? See what I mean? You see what I mean? You see why there's no need in sugarcoating it? You see why there's no need in lying to you about it? There's no need in denying it, that it's going to come to your life. Hatred is going to come to your life. People despitefully using you is going to come into your life. And he warned you that those exact things would come. He told you in this world you have tribulation. Why would he say that to you? To warn you, because he loves you. He wants you to know the truth so that you're set free from the feelings. Because if you don't know it, when it comes, your feelings will change. And your life will change because your feelings have changed. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So because they hate you, you feel hated. I want y'all to hear this good right here. Because they're hating you, you feel that I am hated. It's not true. Because the world passes away and everything in it. So their feelings will pass away. Their thoughts will pass away. Their ideals will pass away. Their things that they think are right will pass away. Because see, the world calls evil good and good evil. So that way also will pass away. That perverted way will also pass away. And so if it's all going to pass away, then is it real? Is anything that's temporary real? Now, what did Abba say about this world you live in? The things that are seen are temporal. So then the things that are seen, are they real? So then you see why the lesson is to fear not and overcome what you're looking at and what you're dealing with, because it's not real. It's not real. It seems real. And that's the way all deception works. Is it not, little flock? Doesn't all deception only work if it sells itself as real? Deception is pointless unless you believe it, correct? And the best type of deception is deception that is believed. That a lie that is believed, right? Shit, ain't no point in telling them a lie if people are not going to believe you. As soon as you start telling the lie, people are like, man, I don't believe that shit. Then it ain't no profit for you to say it or do it in this world. You see that? Ain't no profit to do it in this world if it ain't gonna work. So think about this, Israel. Think about this for a second. If the accuser of the, first of all, how does it feel to be accused? Especially a false accusation. How does that feel? Now, if it's a false accusation, is it real? Okay, but isn't your natural fleshly response to a false accusation is to get all up in arms, to get all defensive and all upset? Hey, man, why you saying that about me, man? I ain't do that shit. What you talking about, man? Why you lying on me, man? Isn't that the natural fleshly response to people lying on you and bearing false witness against you? Okay, now what did Father say? Forgive those that trespass against you. Okay, so what did Christ do when he was bore false witness against? And that's all you have to do, little flock. You can't feel bad about suffering injustice, which you will suffer. That's tribulation. You can't feel bad about suffering injustice when you see what your master has suffered, because you know you've done wrong. Now you have to ask yourself, what did he do wrong? He did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. But yet they hated him, as he said out of his own mouth that they hated him. They bore false witness against him wrongfully. And what did he do? He opened not his mouth. Why? Because those accusations weren't real. They were fake. They weren't legit. So then ain't no need in me acting like they is. I'm going to prove to you that they ain't real by not saying nothing. Because that's how you respond to nothing, is with nothing. Nothing to nothing, leave nothing. See? That's how you respond to nothing when you at the crib, ain't it? You sitting there chilling, ain't nothing happening, so you ain't doing nothing. You in a dark room. But if I flick on the light in the room, you respond to it, closing your eyes, squinting your eyes up, putting your hand in front of your eye. Hey, man, why you turn the bright light on? So I can get you to react. See? But as long as nothing is happening, you ain't reacting. Well, same thing with Yahushua. They were saying all kind of things. This man said he was going to do this. This man said that. This man this and this man that. Liars standing up there bearing false witness, just lying, talking about he did sin when the scriptures say he didn't do no sin. But that's the anomaly of who we are. That we look unclean to the world. Hear that good, little flock, so you can accept it. Stop trying to appear righteous unto men. That's what your enemies are doing. That's what the Pharisees were doing. That's what over-righteous people today are doing. Doing everything that they're doing to be seen of men, to appear righteous unto men. It's not for you to do that, because what good does it do if men think you're righteous, but the Father knows you're not? What profited you? Huh? What profit did it do you? For men to think you were righteous. Woe unto you when all men speak well of you. First so they did to the false prophets. See, all men speak well of false prophets. But when you're a true prophet, all men not going to speak well of you. There's going to be controversy concerning you. There's going to be debates about who in the hell you actually are. How do I know all this? Because it happened to my master. It happened to my brothers. That's how I know. Hey, John the Baptist, who are you, man? Are you Elijah? Are you that prophet? Are you Christ? Then they go to Christ. Some say you are Jeremiah. Some say you are Isaiah. Some say you are this. Some say, and some say. That's called controversy. Some say. There's no consensus and nobody can agree. Why? Because all men think their way is the right way. That's why. And they're not submitted to the Father. Because if all were submitted to the Father, then they would know me, he said. If you knew my Father, you love me. How the hell are you going to say you love my Father, but you hate me, who the Father sent? Are those his words? Well, so it is with you. People say they love God. But when you truly know God, you start to realize how many people don't actually know him at all. They honor him with their lips, but their hearts are far from him. You're able to see that. You're able to see the reality of that. The hypocrisy in men's hearts. Yes, God this and God this and God that. That's honoring him with their lips. But you're not honoring him with your actions. You're only doing things to be seen of men. Because you think that's what justifies you. It's men's idea of what you've done. It's foolishness. Y'all are all in the same boat together, men. All of you are. And when human beings are in distress, they need something, which is called saving. All human beings need to be saved when they're in a distressful situation. When they are powerless to change their circumstance, they all need salvation, but they all won't submit to that. They all won't submit to it. They'll go along deceiving themselves and others. That's what the scripture says. Believing that there's another way that they can get into the kingdom other than coming through the master. You got to go through the truth to get in, man. And if you're calling the truth unclean, then that proves that you haven't been made clean. You think you can see, but you can't. Prove it. People must be controversial in their mind about you in this world. There's not one consensus on you in this world. There are some people who say you're righteous and say you're a prophet of God. And then there are other people who say you're wicked and you're some type of witch or warlock or something, or a demon or a devil. And you think that's such a rude thing that the people of this nasty, disgusting world feel that way about you, when it's actually a compliment. The world is filthy, disgusting, and nasty as hell. And yet you want to be accepted by it and loved by it? That proves you don't know the world you're living in then. You haven't accepted what Christ has told you about where you're living then. That's all it means. You're caught in a deception and a delusion. Not yet accepting the truth. Wait a minute. They call Christ a devil. I'm certainly not better than him. So then they wouldn't call me anything better than what they called him, or anything worse. I mean, maybe even worse than what they called him, because I'm not better than him. But when I get called a devil, all of a sudden I'm all offended and mad and upset and want to defend myself and scream out to people and say, I'm not a devil. I'm a servant of God. Okay, well, let your actions speak for themselves. If you're a prophet of God, then you should be able to speak the words of God. And so if you do, then whether they're hero or for a bear, they will know a prophet was among them. Ain't that what the scripture says? If you just be who you are, they'll know the truth. They'll know the truth because they won't be able to deny the power of the word that is in you. At the end of the day, they won't be able to deny the things that you said were true. Just like all these people talking about they love Christ. Don't lie to me. Y'all don't got to lie to me telling me you love my master. Just soon as you see me, because you know I love him, you want to act like you love him when I come around. No, you don't. Because we don't accept actors. A hypocrite is an actor. Look up the word that Yahushua used for hypocrite. Look up the word he used there and look up the meaning of it. It literally means an actor. Be not like unto actors who clean the outside of the cup. Everything is about outside when it comes to this world. He made it so clear to you guys. It's always about outward adorning. That's how you deceive. That's how you trick. You can be sick as hell and paint your outside up to look like you're healthy, and people will think you're healthy even though you're sick as shit. That's a deception. That's wickedness. That's iniquity. Just tell the truth. Stop trying to appear righteous. Stop trying to make yourself look like you're something that more than what you are, because that's what hypocrites do. Because they have these fanciful ideals of the Spirit, of prophets, of Christ. They have their own personal idea of these type of things. And so when they see you, you're not like what they expect. Read the Bible and see. If Christ came the way they expected him to come, what did he say about the prophets? What did he say about John the Baptist? He said, what did you expect to see? Y'all don't know your scriptures? Of course that says that in there. What did you expect to see? Some man wearing soft raiment? Men who wear soft raiment live in king's palaces, man. What you go for out to see? A reed shaking with the wind? Or in other words, somebody who goes along with the trends of this world? No. Somebody who's going along with the trends? That's what you expected to see? Somebody dressed like a king? Is that what you expected to see? Why is Yahusha saying this? Because he knows that's your mindset. Y'all think a prophet is someone who's outwardly a prophet, and not what comes out of their heart makes them a prophet. Okay, well, what defiles you? Y'all see that today? So know who you is, so you can know what you're facing and know what you're expecting and know what to make real and what not to make real in your thoughts and your feelings on a daily basis. Because Christ's going to give you the truth of it. Silawam Israel.